Dorothy, let's talk about some of the people that you've had an opportunity to work with. Bill Cosby, for one.
He's great.
Is he?
It made me nuts, though, because when we did the taping for that, we did what they were calling a rehearsal.
Mm-hmm.
We did 5 rehearsals. He never did the same lines or jokes twice. It was always a brand new
I'm not surprised.
which is amazing. The man is just bursting with material, unbelievable. He was a pleasure to work with, and then after that, he called me the Bird Lady, and he was always promoting me. After I got a call from American Program Bureau a month after the job, and they said, is this Dorothy Dietrich? And I said, yeah, who's calling? They said, well, this is American Program Bureau, and Bill Cosby told us to call. Well, I said, come on, who is this? Cut it out.
Who is this really?
Who is this? So it was, you know, really fun. I worked with a lot of celebrities.
Tony Curtis.
Yeah, that was fun. For the home box office special, that was called The World's Greatest Escapes. And that's where I did the straitjacket escape, hanging upside down, 150 feet in the air. A lot of fun. A lot of really interesting people you get to meet in show business. And you don't get to know them very well. You know.
You pass for a few days and, you know.
They're mostly all professional and, and everyday nice people.
Who are some of the magicians that you look up to, or that you,
the main thing that I would say is I really kind of model my life after Houdini. And I believe that he had all the right ideas. He was such a clever kid. He left school at 12 years old and really had to use his own wits to survive. He left home to hit the road and try to earn enough money to bring the family together. The family was splitting up because his dad wasn't making enough money to keep the family together. And he ended up at 13 with a full-time job as a messenger. And then between him and his dad, they brought the family together again. And then his career, it didn't matter what he went into in his life, he would have been a success. And the main thing is he believed in himself. He believed that if one thing doesn't work, you try something else.
Sure.
And a lot of that is documented in the new book. There's a new book out now.
Can I ask you about that? I understand you consulted on it?
Yeah. There's a new book called Houdini, so you got to look for that in the bookstores. We have it here at the Houdini Museum, and it's a great book. It's written by Kenneth Silverman, who's a Pulitzer Prize writer, and they revealed it at the book fair here in New York City on September 29th. Every year, the book publishers put together a book fair. It's a giant book fair, the biggest in the world, and all the major book publishers promote what they're doing that year. And it's not to sell books, it's really to promote for the bookstores and to alert students and kids and families about what's out there, and it's for public awareness of literacy. I think that's National Literacy Month. And so that was neat. They hired me to promote the Kenneth Silverman book, Houdini. And so I put together a display of what else? Houdini material, lovely posters, Houdini material, and then the whole day we did magic in the booth, and there was a beautiful stage set up, and then they also had a major stage set up right in an intersection where they could have several thousand people gather at one time. So I performed on the grand stage as well. And the good news is that they give out 2 awards, one for booth presentation and one for the performance of the booth. And our booth won both.
Oh, congratulations!
First prize. So that's
fabulous.
Quite a proud thing. HarperCollins is very proud.
I would hope so.
They know they got the right people for that job.
Speaking of magic tricks, you performed a trick that had killed 12 men up to that point, and if I'm not mistaken, it was a few years ago, but national attention, national headlines, and it was in Atlantic City, and you actually caught a bullet in your teeth.
Actually, in a cup in my mouth.
In a cup in your mouth. Okay.
And please do not try this at home. It has killed 12 men in.
But it has been performed successfully a number of times.
It has been performed. I'm the only woman in history to have ever caught a bullet in my mouth. And it was the kind of thing that I felt I had to do in order to get that next level of respect amongst my peers. And it was the one stunt that Houdini refused to do. And I thought, well, that sounds like a good one to try. You know, if I'm successful at this, this could be pretty good. And so yeah, it was a very scary thing. I worked on the research of that for about 3 years before I even got...
How do you even practice a trick like that, though? I mean,
oh, well, first of all, you've got to get enough nerve to consider it. And then you practice with dummies, you practice with all kinds of... I don't want to tell people exactly the process of it, because I don't want to make people think that it is physically possible for them to do it. There was an awful lot of research, there was an awful lot of technicians that work with me on bullet velocity and all kinds of very informed people in the ballistics field. So I absolutely insist, do not try this at home.
I'm sure you probably also explain that to the kids when you do magic in the schools, that you know, don't go home and saw your sister in half.
Yeah,
you know.
The one thing that I do always tell kids is that I've done an awful lot of brave things, but I'm not stupid. And it should always be understood that nobody likes a stupid anybody. If you want to do something in life, you must take your education to its furthest degree and learn as much as you can, because knowledge is power. And if you have knowledge behind you, if you have degrees, and if you have the information that you are going to need to follow through your life, then you can be very self-assured of what you're going to be doing. And that self-confidence comes from the actual physical knowledge that you develop in your own brain. Houdini had a very famous saying that is my favorite, and he said, "My brain is the key that sets me free." And that really is, everybody could take that as their own motto in life. That is a wonderful concept. Just think about it, you know. Use your head.
It's all up here.
It's all up there. Just use your head and figure things out.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Dorothy, for being with us here on Conversations, and thank you for letting us revisit the Houdini Museum here in Scranton.
Thanks.
All right. We want to also thank you for being with us here tonight on Conversations. For the entire crew at WVIA, I'm Mark Thomas. Thank you and good night.